the two girls, I believe Georgina and Luana, if I'm saying it correctly, right? Georgina and Luana. Georgina's known Tate for quite some time. Luana was a former police officer, and they were friends and associates working together. My question is, are their lawyers and you working together? Are you guys on the same team?
We're not necessarily working together. However, everybody pretty much has a consistent defense, which is nobody committed any crimes in this case.
Got it.
So to that extent, everyone has a common goal and interest in this case. However, we're not necessarily working together.
Okay, and the only reason I ask this, and so please push back anything I ask in skepticism, whatever I say. I'm just thinking like I've interviewed a lot of people that are in different lives they've lived. I've interviewed the Sammy the Bulls of the world, a lot of former mobsters, and the model the government will sometimes use when they have multiple folks that they're working on, they'll try to go to the weak ones to get information out of them and try to get a deal and say, hey, if you tell us this, it's going to be this. Do you want to be in jail forever? They'll put the fear tactic. The tactics they use. This is your world. So how confident are you that for the folks that are worried if they will keep the four fully united on the same page versus the government's going to try to get the girls to break and say something? So some may look at this as hey, they're now being released to go home. This could be seen as, did they do a deal with the government, or it's Andrew and Tristan saying, no, if anyone's going to go home, they're going to go home?
So two different things. First of all, I think absolutely it's a common, both a police and prosecution strategy to try to divide and conquer. I think how we refer to it here is they always try to get the weakest link to roll on, the bigger target. Mm-hmm. So absolutely, I would not be surprised if that's something that the prosecution intends or tries to do. However, we feel confident that there's nothing for these girls, short of if they were to decide to come forward and lie. Beyond that, we're not afraid of anything they would say, and we're not afraid of them, of the police or prosecution exerting pressure, because we think, again, the truth is going to set everybody free, including the Tate brothers.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern. My biggest concern is them trying to gamify it, and they try. Listen, Art of War, Sun Tzu, divide and conquer, put them against each other, put the fear tactic, and then eventually get them to open up, and then give them protection for a couple of years, and then you get the information. Can you release other people that we can get? So that's why I ask: are you guys working collectively together or not? Okay, so that was helpful. If you have a response.
Sure. If I could just interrupt
Please.
For 1 second, I was going to say there's also in this case voluminous what we call documentary evidence, meaning text messages, written correspondence, and we think that speaks for itself. And
Sure.
Again, unfortunately, I can't get into the details with you now the way I wish I could go through specific evidence and show why, this case immediately falls apart. But we think even in the worst case scenario, if somehow the prosecution got to the girls and got them to change their story and not be truthful, in exchange for some sort of deal to get them out of this, we think that the documentary evidence will undercut any, potential argument that the Tate brothers are guilty of any of the charges that they're being investigated for.
When you speak to Tate, and I don't know if you're going to answer this or not, is that a concern that the two girls may do something? Because if I'm an attorney, I'm going to ask the question. You can say no to all the answers, but I'm just going to do my job as a person asking questions. If I'm the attorney, I want to know everything about those two girls, what they have on you, what would they say, how would they come back, where would be their weak spot, is there anything that you're worried about, and then we're not worried about it, we are worried about it. Is that a potential concern at all, or no, that is the last thing we're concerned about?
Right now, that is the last thing we're concerned about. We believe everybody is just trying to get the truth out, and all four of them are, again, they have the same common interest in doing that, when it's going to set all of them free.
My fear is government. I don't trust what they do to pin people against each other, so we'll see what they're going to be doing.